Hey everyone, I'm Rich Lowry with National Review. Let's talk about the 5 reasons why there's a crisis at the border. And make no mistake, there is a crisis at the border. In February, we had more than 76,000 illegal apprehensions at the border, the highest number in more than 10 years. In March, that number went even higher, more than 100,000 illegal apprehensions at the border. And these numbers are going to go much, much higher. Why is that? 5 reasons. Number 1, we overwhelmingly now have Central American migrants and family units coming to the border, which represents an enormous change. In 2012, just 10% of the apprehensions at the border were of family units. In recent months, it's been more than 60%. Reason number 2, you might hear people on cable news saying, oh, Trump is making this all up. There's no crisis at the border. In the 2000s, the numbers for apprehensions were much, much higher. They're technically right about that, but they're wrong about the reality on the ground because of the different composition of the population that we are just talking about. In the 2000s, overwhelmingly, it was single adult men from Mexico coming. They might get apprehended multiple times, which would drive up the numbers, but they'd be reliably returned home. This current influx of migrants, we are not returning home. Reason number 3, we lack the legal authority to send these migrants home. If you're a migrant from Mexico, even if you're a minor, and we catch you, we turn you around, we say, sorry, you can't come in, we're sending you back home. But the rules for dealing with migrants from non-contiguous countries, like those from Central America, and for dealing with minors from those countries prevent us from swiftly returning them home and prevent us even from detaining them for any period of time. Not to mention that our facilities at the border are completely inappropriate for family units. They were, again, all built with adults from Mexico in mind, not children and families from Central America. Reason number 4, there's a crisis. Our asylum system is completely broken. The first step in the asylum process is what's called a credible fear interview. If you pass that interview, you're coming into the country, and it's going to take months or years for your case to be adjudicated. So this is just a crucial step in the process. And more than 90% of these migrants are passing their credible fear interviews, although ultimately fewer than 20% ultimately get asylum. And as we've discussed, since we can't detain them, they will be immediately released in the country while this process plays out, and no one's going to go and remove them. Final and 5th reason that there's a crisis at the border, President Donald Trump can do nothing about it, even though he's absolutely desperate to try to do something to stop this influx. He tried everything. He briefly tried a policy of family separation. He had to back off when there's understandably a firestorm over that. He's tried to cajole Mexico into doing more. Mexico's done a little bit more, but not nearly enough. He tried to change asylum rules on his own, got blocked in the courts. He's famously declared a state of emergency at the border to try to tap more funding for his wall. That's a long-term question, and even that might get blocked in the courts. And finally, he's even sent the military to the border, and that also makes no difference because it's only playing a logistical backup role. And even if you sent the 82nd Airborne itself right to the front line of the border and got it to patrol the border, it wouldn't make a difference because the fact is these migrants surrender to the first U.S. authority they see. And it doesn't matter whether it's a border agent or it doesn't matter whether it's a member of the military. They know once they surrender that the process is geared to getting them into the country, and that's why word spread in Central America that this is how the process works. Make the trek and you're getting in, and the numbers have been building and building. The only way we can make a difference here is if Congress were actually to do its job and fix our policy and give the administration the legal authorities it needs. Congress could do this in an afternoon, but Nancy Pelosi has absolutely no interest in doing it, so that's why the status quo is going to obtain for the duration and why this crisis is going to continue. So those are the 5 reasons of the crisis at the border, and we'll see you next time.